I was doing hair today. I usually do sew-ins, and I had thought about all the videos that I've seen of people doing sew-ins. And I said, hey, for shits and giggles, I might as well put one up. But mine's is not advanced. I didn't try to do anything fancy with it. And actually, it's not even one of my best sew-ins. But I just wanted to share just because I had just thought about it and started recording the shit while I was doing it. And it's really not good clippings because I just wasn't holding the camera that well, and I just picked it up every so often in the hair. But anyway, so if you're interested in sewing or how to do one, check out this video.
Left the city, my mama, she said don't come back home. These kids out killing each other.
Okay, so what I have here is a pattern that I've chosen to do to braid it. I just did a half circle just because, and it doesn't really matter how neat the braids are just because they're not going to be shown. But I did like 2 circles going around, and then I did the zigzag, and she wants a Chinese bang and she has hair that's long enough. So what I did was I left the hair here out for the bang. Okay, get that, for the bang. And then this hair that I have parted, if you can see that, is going to be the hair that's going to cover the track. And the side here, you know, is the hair covering the track, and this is the hair that is covering the track as well. So right now I'm just going to sew the extra hair that was here down so that it will not, you know, be sticking out. Okay, just a quick little thing. This is how, I didn't show you, this is how I thread my needle. I pretty much do it like you do a regular sewing needle. And you know, you put it through the little hole and pull it through. Some people will just use the one string and tie theirs right there, but that little knot that gets right there gets on my nerves. So I do it like a sewing technique. I'll twist the thread around my finger, and then I'll just slide it up. And it'll kind of knot. If you slide it up and then pull it, it'll knot by itself, pretty much. Or you could do it the long way and just tie a regular little knot, but this is an easy way for me to tie a knot. And these kind of hooks are easy to use opposed to the straight ones, because you could just hook it and it'll just, you know, go through the hair a lot easier. Okay. Okay. And then also with these braids, usually I make the braids smaller. But this one I just chose to just do the outline braid small. You really want to make sure the ones that are, she's not having her back out, so the back, this isn't that important. But the ones that's going to be near the front where you're going to have some hair covering it, those braids need to be thin so that it doesn't look lumpy. Unless you're using some curly hair where it's not, you're not going to really see the lumps. But with straight hair, this hair is straight, you'll have to make the braids flat in the front where the hair is going to be at so that it doesn't show through. Okay. And I always suggest that you get a really good brand of hair. Me personally, I spend probably $80 a pack for my hair, and my next choice of hair is getting some actually sent from I want to get some Chinese hair actually and get the lace fronts. Stop it. Okay, so some people usually they'll do the round pattern, and they'll just circle the hair all the way around. But because I'm not doing a full head weave, I didn't find it necessary, and I just wanted to do a different pattern this time, because normally I do the circle braid. But I usually start to measure the hair from around here, halfway point. I usually cut lines, and I measure it from to see how long it's going to be in order to cover the gist of this part of her head. So I think I'll cut it right about where the ears are. About there. You can see, I'm sorry. I'll cut it right around there. And you want to kind of cut it from the top part so that you don't, and be careful not to cut the hair, because the weft, there's only a little bit to cut, and you don't want to have like little strands of hair that you cut showing. And then I usually think that the side you use is the kind that, I mean, it really depends on the brand of hair you have. Some of them have the two little wefts sewn together, and some other brands have it where there's just the one. Usually, I think just depends on the brand. This kind in particular has two, and you can just kind of like bend it and see if there's a lot of hair that sticks up, because you usually sew the hair in a direction where they have the short, then they fold it with the long. I'm not really sure, but you know, if you kind of just lift it, you'll be able to tell if it looks jagged. This hair in particular, I can't tell too much. I usually just go ahead and lay it on the flat side, because you can see that side is the flat, and that has the two sides. No. So, where's my thread? So to start the weft, you put the thread in between in the weft so that it'll stay. Okay, like so, right? Then you'll proceed to just sew it into the hair. You sew it on the braid. I'll show you from right here. You'll sew it onto the braid. Now, if I do it, it's better to go underhand with it, putting the needle through the braid and then through the weft. Okay, and you just pull it through right there, and it'll make it so that the hair doesn't get tangled if you go that direction. And make sure you do it a couple of times at the beginning of the weft, because that's where the side that tend to slip out. So you want to make sure that that part's in, so you don't have any loose ends sticking out. And what you'll do, some people have a threading technique. I've seen people do, you know, under the braid and then like through the two strands. I've seen people do many different things. I think that as long as you're securely sewing it in, it doesn't matter. That's just my opinion. It's just how I do my hair all the time. And what I'll do is I'll just actually go around the weft, and then like halfway through, just to secure it, I'll sometimes put the needle through the weft just because I want to make sure that that track is secure in the hair. You just go around. You should probably double knot it or triple knot it so that it doesn't come out. Okay, now this I'm trying to end this trap here. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll put this put this needle into the weft. I mean, I'm not doing it right now, but I'll put the needle through here and into the weft and pull it out, and then I'll knot it so that it'll stay. Okay. You want to make sure you knot it a couple times and probably even put it through the weft like twice or whatever so that it'll stay secure because you don't want loose ends. Okay. Then you make sure you knot it really close to the track. And I just press it down so that the knot is like on top of the track. So it does not have the track kind of loose. I might even do it 3 times just because it's nothing more uglier than having to scratch your head and it comes off or out. I mean, unless you had it in here too long. But and then you cut it real close to the knot so that the strings aren't hanging out, because that's not cute either. Now, it's not necessarily that you have to follow the pattern of the braid exactly, as long as you have braids that you can sew the hair onto. So if I choose, you know, eventually I'm going to just continue on going around like so. Okay, and you see that if I can go and I can skip, I can just connect from here to the track, to the braids over here. I can just do this. I can skip the braid. I just sew, you know, I just continue sewing to the next braid. I don't have to necessarily sew on top of the braid. I can go over. Okay? You'll see. Alright. So now I have completely put almost all the tracks in. I put the last one at the front. And usually what I do is I split the track so that the front track is not as bulky and as thin. And the way you do that is you get the 2 wefts with a razor and you split them down the middle. See, now there was the double one, now it's just a single one, as you can see. Okay, then I'm just going to attach this one to the front and continue. So, anywho, and now what I've done is flat iron the top of the hair and gave her a bang. So you can see that see the bang, and then wait, go further back. And it's, you know, long and straight. And this is this is bad camera action, but it's a sign. Okay. Wait, see, there's the other side. Okay. So now you know how to do a sign.